What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of my YouTube channel. This is the Diaspora Review, and I'm your host, presenter Assam. So, what's popping today? What am I talking about? Yo, guys, let us get into this thing.
25 years.
25 years and you got notified
years.
how?
Via email this morning.
How did you take it?
I am heartbroken. I'm devastated. Like I said, we are civil servants. We're here to serve the public. We all work in human services and public health, and we are here to protect the public health. We're here to protect the most vulnerable in our communities and the most vulnerable families and children. That is what we have done here, and that is what our programs do. We're not here for the paycheck. We don't make a lot of money. And I've been here 25 years, and most of my team members have been here a decade or more, and we have been here to serve the public and to work with our state and tribal partners, and we will not be here anymore to do that. We oversee child welfare. We oversee federally funded temporary assistance to needy families, which is welfare. We oversee federally funded child care, child support enforcement. These are the services that serve the taxpayer, and they are gone. The people who administer these programs are gone. So I don't think the regular taxpayer understands how government works and how these services actually serve them until they don't get their Social Security payment, they don't get their SNAP, they don't get their welfare check. Then they will see how these rifts will impact them. Right now, it's this kind of, oh, someone else. It will impact all of you, the greater public.
About 10,000 full-time jobs now being cut from the Department of Health and Human Services. Among those, at the CDC, for example, 2,400 jobs cut. At the FDA, 3,500 jobs cut. At the National Institutes of Health, 1,200 jobs, and at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, about 300 or so. And you were watching that video of those long lines outside of that federal building in Rockville, Maryland. And we understand that employees showed up there this morning. Some of them turned around, told they no longer had a job. Some of them had been told to take their laptops home over the last several days because they would not be allowed onto campus. This all comes after Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over at HHS, he had been saying that these cuts would be coming and that some federal agencies would be folded into a newly created agency.
This is more than just job cuts. This is dismantling. And a quiet storm is sweeping through the heart of America's federal government. And most people don't realize it until the lights go out in their lives. So over 120,000 federal workers have been already laid off. Health and human services, they have been slashed. The CDC gutted. FEMA reportedly almost gone. And behind every number is a human being, blindsided, broken, and left behind. So today I'm going to be talking about something that's really disturbing. The US federal government is being trimmed down at a rate we haven't seen in modern history. And what's worse, the very programs meant to protect the most vulnerable among us are disappearing. I'm going to talk about a powerful testimony shared by some of these people who are former civil servants and on TikTok, and I have compiled these videos for you, by the way. And I know that you want to hear this. So I want to ask you, how does a country survive when it abandons the system that kept it standing during the crisis after crisis? So sit back, relax, because this is not a political shakeup. It's personal and it's national. I'll be back with further analysis.
In today's episode of Any Day Now, Lord, any day, I'm a federal employee who applied for unemployment after I was terminated. And I just found out I'm supposed to certify on Monday so I can get paid this week coming, but my application is still sitting there because the federal government will not respond to the state asking for them to verify my income. So not only did they fire us and take away our health insurance, our life insurance, our vision, and our dental all in one day, but they're also dragging their feet. Well, it's not even dragging their feet, being completely unresponsive and doing what they need to do so that we can file for unemployment benefits. So yeah. Any day now, Lord. Any day.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation, but don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question.
Breaking fuck the news. The Office of Personnel Management will begin evaluating federal workers' loyalty to Donald J. Trump. Yeah, that's a thing, right?
As I always say, I'm not a mathematician, but I like about talking about the numbers because they're staggering. 10,000 full-time jobs cut from the Department of Health and Human Services. That alone should make you pause, but it doesn't stop there. The CDC lost 2,400 workers, FDA another 3,400 workers. Now, the Medicare and Medicaid down by 300. These aren't pencil pushers. These are people who track diseases, inspect food, fund life-saving research, and get seniors their meds on time. One of the most haunting parts of these TikToks are a civil servant sharing how she was let go via email, instantly losing her job, her health coverage, her dental, her vision, all of it gone on the same days. Years, sometimes decades of service gone with just a click. And there is something that I want you to know. Many of these laid off are now trapped in limbo. They're trying to file for unemployment but can't because the federal government hasn't verified their income to the straits. These are the same people who upheld your child support payments, approved your SNAP benefits, they processed your social security, and now they can't even get help themselves. The emotional toll is just devastating. One employee from the video said she cried for days, not just for herself, but for the children whose welfare cases shall never get to follow through. For the families who relied on that non-essential job, she was told no longer matters. This is not just job loss; it's an institutional breakdown. And I want you people to reflect because we call it it is what it is, but a massive restriction of federal power. And at the center of it all, according to these people talking about Donald Trump, the same man reportedly pushing layoff of 100,000 more federal workers. The same administration allegedly trying to eliminate entire agencies and even test workers. Loyalty to him personally. So think about that. Loyalty tests for federal jobs. We're entering a dangerous territory and people don't see. When government jobs are slashed, not because they're redundant, but because they are not politically convenient, that's not downsizing. That's regime control, or what we call state capture. And while the media is busy debating sound bites, America is hemorrhaging its civil service backbone. FEMA, the agency that coordinates natural disaster response, is basically gone, according to some of the sources. What happens when the next hurricane hits, the next wildfire, the next pandemic? It gets worse. Programs like Job Corps, I talked it about yesterday, lifelines for low-income youth are being dismantled. Welfare, child support enforcement, even childcare programs are all described as non-essential or luxuries. But to who? To the politician who's never lived off $1,200 a month, or to the single mother trying to survive. And let us not forget the timing. The cuts are happening in what's been called the worst job market for any college graduate. So where do these fired workers go? How do they rebuild? And the truth remains, many won't unless the public wakes up. And maybe that's the point, because we are not supposed to notice. until that social security payment does not show up, until that snap card stops working, until all Americans are left asking what happened to the government that was supposed to be there. This is not just a warning, it's a reality check. And today is not just a commentary, it's a call for awareness, because if this trend continues, people are not just going to lose workers, they're going to lose the soul of public service in the country. So, as you guys sit out there, I want you to stay aware, stay ready, and stay informed. And to the thousands of federal workers out there who have been let go, Americans are seeing you, and Americans are hearing you, and your story matters a lot. Don't lay the guard down. Keep on pushing, because if if the federal government doesn't care for you, just know that there are people out here who care for you, and it's not the end of the road. I'm just here to give you hope. 100,000 workers being laid off, or over 100,000 workers being laid off, who worked for the federal government, because the federal government thinks that they think that these programs that they used to work in are just luxuries, or what they call non-essentials. It is something that is heartbreaking, because where do you expect someone who has worked for an agency for over 20 years, and like since their youth, where do you expect them to get a job right now, when even college graduates can't even find a job? So it's something that is crazy, and it's just disheartening, and you guys need to stay strong, and stay informed, stay alert, and it's time to take action, because if you stay silent, things are going to get worse. Programs are being scrapped off day by day, people are being laid off day by day. Even the programs that used to support the vulnerable or the less fortunate in the society are being scrapped off. So I don't know what you think about this video, but tell me your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to keep your thoughts respectful, not just to me, but to the creators of the videos that we reacted on, and also the people are going to be commenting. So, guys, uh, thumbs up to yourself, and thank you for always supporting me. Like this video, share this video, and don't forget to turn on post notification, because every day I post videos like this, and I'd like you to be the very first person to watch them. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. I hope to see you in my next video. Peace out.